Matt Powell needs to, quit trying to come at us, man. It didn't work for fucking Josh Bernstein. It's not going to work for you. I mean, right now I'm looking at your channel and you have 346 subscribers. We're not going to have you on our show. It's just not going to happen. I know you wanted to come to talk to us about the Gospels and how everything seemed to match up in your brain. I could talk about the discrepancies in the stuff, but you didn't say that on your video. And on the video where you were bringing up the it's video games, it's all video games, blah blah. And then I listened to you on another interview.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I listened to you on an interview, and you're like, I play video games. Fuck you, man. You can't be like, it's all the video games' fault, yet I still play them. Like, I can understand people being addicted to things being an issue, but you didn't say anything about that. So, anyway, we're going to go to one of his older videos. I think this was published earlier this month, and it's about dumb arguments from the atheists I run into, he said. So, let's hear these dumb arguments, and we'll actually try to find this out. Here we go.
I had an atheist tell me, I don't believe in God because I can't see God.
Really?
We're going with that one, are we? We're going with the can't see God, so therefore it doesn't. Atheists don't believe in God for multiple reasons, but one of them, I'll tell you right now, is that you can't see it is not the fucking thing. We don't go with the whole brain thing where you're like, I can't see my own brain. How do I know if it's real? Oh, I have faith. No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's slightly different. I also don't believe any atheist really ever said that.
I wonder if he actually really does have the atheist friends like he's talking about here. I don't think so.
I doubt it.
No.
I don't see him. Where is he? And he says, if Jesus Christ appears in front of me, I'll believe it.
Okay, well, that's another interesting topic to bring up that we could probably spend 2 hours talking about just alone.
We could.
If Jesus were to appear in front of us and we had, the actual way of proving that he was who he says he was, have it verified by science and everything, and like, yes, okay, well, this man is Jesus Christ, he is the Messiah, and he is the Son of God, blah, blah. If we had all that shit even planned out all the way through, first of all, what makes you think that he's on your side? I guarantee you he's got problems with some of the shit you've been saying. And second, that doesn't mean we have to fall to our knees and worship him.
No.
We still have the option of not doing that thing.
Right. Yeah, there's a big difference between worshiping and believing.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, we would believe that he was what he says he was, but that doesn't mean that we believe in. Well, I guess we'd have to believe that there's a God. That doesn't mean that I'd have to worship nor follow him, because I would have so many problems. So many problems.
Oh, so many.
I couldn't do that on my own. Anyway, let's see what else he's going to say.
Let me ask you a question. This building, I don't know when this building was built, but you know what? I can't see the builder, but you know what? I have enough brains to understand that somebody put this place together. And I have another question. What is more complex, this little building that we have here, or the world and the way things work together?
We're going with this argument, are we?
Really?
We're going with the divine. It has to be a creator.
But really,
he does have an interesting twist on it here in a second, so I'm going to let him play it through just for a second.
Okay.
Here we go.
If this world is more complex, wouldn't that demand that there'd have to be a designer? And this is just to answer another atheist that attacked me recently. He says, oh, well, you have to apply that same logic to God, because then God would have to be more complex.
Yeah, it's called infinite regression.
Yeah, it is. But who says the world is that complex? It's really not.
It's just I'm a firm believer in the whole clockwork universe kind of thing. Like, things are set into motion long fucking time ago. I'm not trying to say that I'm Calvinist and I believe everything is deterministic or anything, but kind of is. I mean, the small bits and bobs moving around on this planet are not going to change the fact that our sun is eventually going to swallow this planet and then eventually go supernova itself and probably collapse in on itself and become a black hole to just become another part of heat death of the universe, where everything just eventually stops.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you're just looking at the construction of the planet, it is really just a ball of matter held together by gravity. That's it.
And just everything's churning along.
It's just a pile of stuff.
And we, at
Nothing
the
complex
tippity top
about
of it, of the food chain or whatever the fuck we want to think we are,
Mm-hmm.
we're concerned about all this stuff just happening on the crust of the planet. Like,
Yeah.
It's honestly nothing, people. I mean,
Yeah.
no, it has to be even just the example of the world. Like, even with the stuff that you put in, that all you have to do is have a handful of laws of the universe, and they're gonna be like, who wrote the laws? Be like, well, it's a multiverse kind of thing. And we've talked about this a couple of times before, where if you really want to get into the whole Michio Kaku kind of stuff, where you're talking about multiverses and bubble universes and things, and all you need are the constants that we have. And I'm not talking about like Earth being X amount of miles away from the sun kind of bullshit, because that's Christians getting science wrong altogether. But
yeah, that's not a constant thing.
The weight of an electron, you know, the amount of energy that one has within it, you know, that kind of stuff.
Those are constants. Yeah.
But when you have those rules in place and you introduce a whole bunch of energy into a system, bam, you know, Big Bang happens, and you have matter that starts to form. I mean, it just happens to happen.
Yeah.
It at that point, the clock has been put into motion, which will eventually stop. I don't know how it's going to stop. I don't know when it's going to stop. We have a good idea of when it's going to happen, you know, based on what we have of models of the universe right now. However, none of it comes back to God, or, you know, things being put in motion. And
none of it.
If God really cared about humanity and bringing us down and having us toil around on this planet, why did he wait so many fucking billions of years to introduce us to the universe? Oh, well, humanity's got the dates wrong. No, we're more than likely don't have the dates wrong. You guys are just wrong. I would much rather believe modern science than your guys' beliefs. And I'm going to let him talk some more.
Well, let's think about that reasoning for a minute. Anybody knows that it's impossible for there within time to be an infinite amount of cause and effects.
No, that's not true.
Well, like we were saying, there is a beginning and there's going to be an end.
Yeah.
However, that's an end that we're basing just solely on us being inhabitants of the universe.
Right, but that's just that, and that's just one instance.
And that's us thinking third dimensional. You know, we're not thinking.
Yeah. There's absolutely no way to know or tell how many times all of this has happened or will happen. I mean, it could indeed be an infinite loop where there are infinite possibilities.
Say that something happens with dark matter and WIMPs and stuff like that, when they things. What if the rise of them happens to be something that changes everything in the universe? We don't know. That's the greatest thing, is that we don't know.
Yeah.
But to say that there is no way that there could be a endless amount of stuff within a system is, you don't know that. You don't have the answer to that. There's no way that you can state that, you know, whole cloth. Philosophers spend their fucking careers doing this kind of talking and thinking. You know, you think you got it right, Mr. 22-year-old pastor guy?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
I'm 38 and I still have no fucking clue about how the universe works. You know, I like to tinker around here and there, but at the same time, you stare into the beast, the beast stares back at you, and then you start to get that feeling
I'm done.
And then you start listening to Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, you know, and the universe is expanding and expanding. Oh, God, what a great song. Anyway, let's let this dumbass say some more stuff.
So if we go back far enough in time, after cause, effect, there has to be a first cause.
Oh, boy, I've heard this from lots of other pastors before.
Does there really?
Does there have to be a cause for the universe existing? How about the universe just is? And even if we have this whole where you have to have a cause for the universe to exist, why does it have to be a god that does it? You know,
why can there not be a naturalistic cause?
I mean, it makes a lot more fucking sense that ball of energy introduced from a fifth dimensional, you know, plane of existence into a third dimension world. And
sure.
Anyway, he keeps saying stupid shit. Here we go.
or something that's actually outside of time, space, and matter.
If it's outside of time, space, and matter, how the fuck can you even like think that it exists? That is another dimension to God. I've never heard somebody say.
It's just I've heard that before, and it's just
I've heard
just
of time
nonsense.
and space, but not matter, though. You know, in order to interface with matter as he supposedly did in the Old Testament and New Testament,
he would have to be matter. Of
he would
some
have
sort.
to be matter, you know, or have matter.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Like I said, that's just nonsense.
What's amazing is any philosopher will admit it. But what's crazy?
Any philosopher will admit it.
Really?
Any philosopher.
I'm sorry. You can get a philosopher to admit anything.
You can't. It's impossible to get a philosopher to concede on anything.
They will admit everything, and they will admit nothing, and that's what they do.
That's how
that's how it works.
Especially collegiate.
Sure. A philosopher will be the first person to say, "Sure, well, anything's possible,"
and nothing at the same time.
And nothing is possible. What is possibility?
Atheists will say, well, yeah, there's definitely an uncaused cause, but they won't admit it's God because they don't want to answer.
Right. Why would? Why would we concede that it's your God?
Why would it be your God?
God?
I mean, any of them. You know?
And folks, I understand there are some things that we don't like to deal with, but you know what? If you lack a belief in God, then you need to change. You need to change that.
Why?
Our society is really, really going downhill quick, and it's with this agenda that the
crime stats say otherwise.
You know, I'm sorry, but I have heard that it's going downhill all my life. How big is this hill?
For it to be constantly on a downward slope of it.
We have been on a constant downward trajectory for at least 39 years almost.
Maybe it's a big enough hill, I mean, where you already have all that saved up potential energy, and it's a mountain so big that it becomes like an arc just going around the planet, and you eventually reach back to where you started from, which is a little bit of assistance.
It's an infinite.
It's an egg.
It's an infinite. It's like Sisyphus. Yeah.
Good old Sisyphean feat of pushing the boulder back up.
The public school system is pushing. And I'm sick of it. And I'm going to stand up. I mean, let's say, for example, the church just decided to go out and, you know, and I'm going to use more scripture here, but, you know, just let's say, for example, we had a beach party, you know, and we go out.
I'm pretty sure God and Jesus are against that beach party some way.
Probably. I'm sure.
It's probably a sin of some sort. You had to pick up sticks to, oh, fuck, then you're breaking the Sabbath, and then they're going to stone you to death, and just all that shit.
And we go to the beach, and I see on the shore, I see like a sandcastle on the shore. What idiot would say, oh, that just washed up on its own? I mean,
no idiot would say that.
None at all.
How delusional would you have to be to, oh, it just washed up on its own? No, somebody would say, no, there was an intelligent designer that made it. And so you have to apply that same argument of complexity to the universe.
I think it would depend on how complex the castle really was. Because I've seen some shitty sandcastles that I wouldn't attribute to any intelligence.
No, I mean, it just looks like a pile of sand with a stick on top of it. I mean, what is your example of a sandcastle? I mean, we can go into the whole, tell me what a sandwich is. Is a taco a sandwich kind of thing? We can go down that whole fucking rabbit hole. But at the same time, it's not quite the same thing, buddy. It's not this whole watchmaker fallacy that you're talking about. It's not the whole complexity of thing makes the existence of God, come out of it. Because even if you had all of this stuff where you got to a point where you're like, okay, there had to be this that did this. Why does it have to be your God or your Jesus? Why? I keep coming back to it because it's a fundamental flaw in every argument the guy keeps bringing up. Like, oh, you would say that there's an intelligent designer. No, you'd say that there was a kid that built a sandcastle, or there was somebody that built the sandcastle because you have evidence of them building the sandcastle. You could see tooling marks. You could see where the bucket was. You could see all of these other things. We don't have any evidence of your designer except for the fact that there's living things here. And we're not conceding that there's a designer. You know, there's no...
Right. Right. I mean, for your analogy to work, you would have to be talking about a sandcastle existing on a beach where there is no known human population and no known human visitors that exist in a place that it couldn't exist.
It's like a sandcastle on Titan. You know?
Right.
I'd be actually impressed with that. Now, how the fuck that happened? Maybe they are emergent from that planet, because that's just how. It's not outside the realm of possibility, up to and including the point where it becomes a god. You know, it's like,
yeah,
what happened? Okay, well, a certain storm hit this way that did this certain thing that had this happen in the universe and everything. Blah 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 blah, and then you get to the nth degree, becomes God did it. That is the hardest fucking thing to prove, because you've added extra steps to shit. You've added extra complexity. Super duper hard to fucking ever come to complexity where you're ever going to fix it, because you're just once again added something that's beyond space, time, and matter, that now you have to explain where the fuck that came from. God, I hate these stupid religious arguments against this shit.
Well, the universe, my friends, was designed. And by this time, usually when I talk to an atheist, if they're honest, if they haven't gotten really mad and left,
well, we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. We're not. I can't say we're mad. We're annoyed and aggravated that you're not actually even thinking about this. But that's fine.
And he wouldn't be wanting to have the conversation. He would just gloss over and go back to Apologetics 101. And
of course, yeah.
Arguments. Like, why does it have to be your God? This is what we just keep circling back to.
They'll at least say, okay, yeah, there's a God. You're right.
You're never going to get an atheist to say, yeah, there's a God. Not going to fucking happen.
No, they're not going to say there is. There's going to the best you could do would be to get them to say it would be to say, sure, I guess it's possible given your scenario.
But how do you know it's your God? And that's what I was hoping they'd ask, right?
Oh, sure.
And so
he's going to go to his book.
God is the first cause. He's the uncaused cause. And notice it's a singular uncaused cause. There's only one God. There's not millions. And even a philosopher will tell you that there's only one. There's one uncaused cause. And they know that it has to be intelligent. And I believe it's loving. I believe it's the God of the Bible.
He's not very fucking loving, guys. Matt, he's not a loving God.
No.
His idea of love is very fucking alien to humans.
Right. And I love, where is he getting well, every philosopher would say, really? No, they wouldn't.
He should pick one philosopher that said that and then bring it up. That way we can refute that philosopher instead of him just doing the whole Trumpian every biggest, goodly.
But gooder. They wouldn't. I mean, that's not philosophers. A philosopher would not say such a thing. Yeah. That is ludicrous.
And I believe he came down here and took on flesh.
Came down here and took on flesh. Well, he lost that fight because he got nailed to a fucking cross. Oh no, I said something mean about your Jesus. Oh no.
You think he would pick a better way to go, though?
I think he would choose to appear somewhere else where he wasn't going to be fucking nailed to a cross for heresy. You know,
yeah.
There was lots of other, you know, really more welcoming places he could have been on the planet than fucking right in the Middle East. No, thank you. I mean, shit, that place has been a hotbed ever since humanity was a thing. The Fertile Crescent and all that shit. Like, no thanks. Count me out.